Hello, new game. That means new coffee. All right, so I just finished the first Berserker Khazan demo. It took me about 3 hours. You can get through it a little quicker, or you could explore a little more, take a little bit longer, maybe 3.5, maybe 4 hours, depending on how you play. It was so much fun. It's a Souls-like. It's more akin to almost Sekiro. It has that block, and then it has a perfect parry. It has a dodge. Then it has a perfect dodge, almost like Black Myth Wukong. So you can dodge. If you dodge at the last second possible, it leaves a little after image, does that little slow motion effect. It's very satisfying. Same with the parry. One thing with a parry that every game has to get right is that satisfying little, that notification visually and auditorily, audio based, whatever the word is. When you parry, that nice little note of to show the player, oh yeah, that was a perfect parry. And they do that just absolutely perfectly. I love it. It was so much fun. I expected to go into this game with pain and misery and more pain. I told myself, oh, it's a Souls-like. I like the design. The fact that your character is almost anime-esque in design, but the environment isn't. It was a cool contrast for me. I really enjoyed it. But I fully expected to go into this like I'm going to die 100 times in this demo at least. It's going to be painful. It's going to be a slog to get through it. Hopefully I have some fun. And it really wasn't.
Yes.
I don't think I'm better. I don't think I've gotten better at parrying and these types of games. I just think it's more forgiving. It felt more forgiving in terms of the timing of the parry. If you've played Liza P, that has some of the tightest parry timing I have ever seen. Like, damn. You have to parry exactly as you get hit. There's no room for error. And Khazan is not like that at all. I don't want to pretend like I know, oh, you can parry within a second and a half. I'm not going to try and measure that, but it's very noticeable. If you're used to that type of gameplay and you hop into this, you'll notice. You'll make some mistakes and say, oh, wow, I shouldn't have parried that, but I still did. And recognize like, oh, I have some, I have some margin here for my parry, which is really nice. The weapons are great. It's like any Souls-like. You have your dual wields, which are quick. You have your heavy weapon, which is obviously super slow, but does a lot of damage. A lot of damage. Then you have your glaive, my personal favorite, which they call it a spear. Yes, technically it's a spear. Like you do your little, stabby action and you're slashing and whatnot. Again, back to Liza P, they have the dragon glaive, and this looks exactly like it. So I'm going to call it a glaive. And that's my favorite. It's got the reach, it's got the speed, it's got everything I want. So that was my preferred weapon of choice, and that's how I beat the final boss of the demo, which the difficulty jump on him is pretty significant. Like, okay, all right. I could tell, oh, this is definitely the end of the demo because he's difficult compared to every other boss. I'm not to say that they're easy, but you notice the difficulty jump.
No.
Anyway, the game itself is great. The environments look great. The first day I played it, I had some like frame drops, but that was on my end because as soon as I did some Windows updates, it played. I mean, it was smooth like butter. So I'm not really sure what that was. It's great. I love it. I've been looking forward to a new Souls-like, but I also didn't want to be subjected to straight misery. I tried to jump into Demon Souls, the remake on PS5, and that was so painful. Now, I'll go back because I'm more locked in with these games. So one tip I recommend is when you're playing any sort of Souls-like or Sekiro. I feel like Sekiro isn't a Souls-like. I know it's made by FromSoft, but the gameplay is totally different. It's completely skill-based, whereas Souls-likes are Elden Ring. Oh, you're stuck? Go level up 40 levels and you can like 3-shot this boss. Completely different. But we'll just encapsulate that in Souls-likes. If you're playing them, I recommend when it comes to bosses or somewhere you're stuck, take 2, 3, maybe even 4 tries. Go in and specifically focus on learning the moves. So go into a boss and just watch their moveset. Like, oh, that looks like a sweeping motion. And when they hit you, oh, that was a sweeping motion. Okay, cool. That doesn't look blockable. Oh, it was blockable. Cool. Don't try to parry. Just try to block and figure out their moves and see, can I block that? Oh, that was a grab. That was an unblockable grab, so I need to move out of the way. Spend the first couple of times fighting them, learning the moves, then go in that 4th, 5th time and demolish them. It's very effective. You have to take a different approach with these games because they're meant to be challenging, and therefore you will get very, very frustrated. You will get so frustrated, you want to grab your cup, throw it against the wall, grab your PC, then recognize that your PC is too expensive and you can't wreck it, so you carefully set it down and just sit in your chair and seethe in silence. Spend the first couple of turns, or the first couple of times fighting a boss, just learning the moves. It will do wonders for you, I promise. Now, obviously, I only played 3 hours, so I can't say whether this game is going to be a Game of the Year contender. I really enjoyed it. As far as I know, it's one of the few Souls-likes. I know there's maybe 2 more coming out in 2025. I love this game so far. I love the art direction. I love the way it feels. I love the fact that there's some forgiveness to the parry. So it makes me enjoy it that much more. The fact that Clive from Final Fantasy 16, I don't know the actor's name, forgive me. I'm pretty sure it's Clive, voices the main character. He sounds great. He's got that like grisly tone, just a little bit. Not as grisly as Clive, but you can definitely hear it. After the first few lines, I'm like, that's Clive. I recognize you. And if you've played Final Fantasy 16, you know Clive. He kills it. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a day 1 buy for me. Let me know what you think of the first Berserker Khazan. Go and subscribe to, stay updated on all this. I'll be playing this as soon as it comes out. I'll do a full deep dive. Again, I'm super excited for this. And more games need demos. I need every company, and we need to really put out there how appreciative we are of demos. I remember when almost every game had a free demo. We need to return to that. And if you're not confident enough in your game, if it's not finished enough to where you don't want to put out a demo, then delay it. People might complain in the shorthand about delays and say, oh, I was so excited for it. But then when you drop a top tier finished game, all those complaints go away. They say, oh, thank God they delayed it because it's perfect. Drop demos. If you're confident in your game, please drop demos. I beg of you, drop the demos. We love the demos. It gives us a taste, give us a nice, meaty helping of the pie. Like, you don't shave off the crust. Say, here's a 20-minute demo. No, you give me a 3-hour demo to experience the whole of the game so I know what I'm getting into. Because now I'm going to buy it day 1. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let me know what you think of Khazan. Again, subscribe, like, go comment. Tell me what you think because I'm loving it. Tell me what you're drinking. As you saw before, I'm drinking coffee from the Philippines. We took a Philippines trip. So much fun. Of course, me being the caffeine fanatic I am, I had to come back with coffee. And you have a good rest of your day. Go try the demo now. After this, it's on to Dynasty Warriors Origins, which I've heard great things about the demo. So it's a great year for gaming. And y'all have a good rest of your day.